Summer is magical when you're a kid. There's no school, you have impromptu water balloon fights, you turn the hose on, you just go nuts. It's also realistically the time where you'll be playing the least amount of video games. When I was a kid, my parents had to tell me quite often, no video games, it's a beautiful day, go outside. And to be fair to my parents, video games are inherently better when it's a rainy day. You know what I mean? Thunderstorms are ideal. Something about that atmosphere just makes you want to boot up a quest you've been wanting to jump back into. But unless you go out of your way to play video games, summer is the last season you think of as a prime video game playing time.
Not that you're regularly breaking down which seasons are the best to game in, but if we were, it's obviously winter, fall, summer, spring. Funny enough, if you were to rank which Banjo-Kazooie TikTok Woods seasons are the best, it's the reverse order. Hi, I'm Nick Vez, and welcome to the start of summer. And you know what? This doesn't feel right. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. Welcome to summer. I don't know. Is this too, hey, look at me? Whatever. We're gonna do it. It's summer.
Summer games are not really a thing. It's interesting to set a game around a season or a vacation. I can't think of many other games that tried to do that, but Mario Sunshine is its own weird adventure. It makes a lot of very strange decisions for a platformer, but mainly for a Mario platformer, which are always so squeaky clean and tight. To be honest, I think this game's lack of success is part of the reason why Mario became so squeaky clean and tight for years. As a direct sequel to Mario 64, it sure makes a name for itself and stands on its own, but not always for the right reasons. Like it or not, Sunshine is the most divisive 3D Mario game by far. Super Mario 3D World probably next on the list, but I don't care what anybody says, that game is a 10. But why is Sunshine so divisive? Is it the controls? Probably. The story, the setting, the vibe the game puts out. Say what you want about all that other stuff, particularly the mechanics that make a good game, that control the character. You kind of need those to work in order to be considered a good game. But just sit with me on the vibe section, just for a second. Just unwind with your boy. Super Mario Sunshine truly is the most vibey Mario game, and it is absolutely the greatest summer game we have, period. Nothing else can touch Sunshine in the summer. When I was a kid, see, I'm from New Jersey, so naturally I grew up going to the Jersey Shore. Not that one. One with a boardwalk, great beaches, and even better atmosphere. I was very fortunate enough to be able to grow up and always think of summer as this carnival of sorts where I would meet up with my cousins and we get to play in the sand all day, hit the boardwalk at dusk, and then go back to our rented shore house at night and play the N64. My dad always made sure to bring the N64 down the shore. And to me, as a kid, transferring this home console down the shore to another house, it was one of the coolest things that could happen. I was like, well, I have a Game Boy, so that makes sense to bring somewhere. But bringing the home console? What? This is crazy. That's connected to a TV. My siblings and my cousins, we'd play Mario Kart, Mario Party. We'd take turns playing one-player games like Banjo-Kazooie or Donkey Kong 64. It was my favorite way to end a summer day. One time, on the way down the shore, my dad told us that there was a Mario summer game coming out. And me and my brother almost pitched ideas about it, and he would sign off and be like, yeah, that's in there too. Each character had their own designated minigame, so it was sort of like a Mario Party but with longer minigames. Like Mario had volleyball, Yoshi was a surfing minigame, and Bowser's minigame was finding a parking spot. And we called it Mario Beach Party, and I remember thinking how amazing it would be to have a summer-themed game and how great it would be to play with my cousins down the shore in the summer. Of course, Mario Beach Party never came to fruition, as it was never a real thing. But to all of our surprise, Mario Sunshine shows up on the next generation of consoles. And my dad's like, did I will this into existence?
Full disclosure, I'm clearly a big fan of Sunshine. I think there's a lot of beauty in taking big swings. But yeah, it's flawed. It's incredibly flawed at times. And it's almost the perfect analogy for the GameCube as a whole. But let's not get into that right here. The GameCube as a whole will be talked about later on this channel. And if you're interested in that, like and subscribe. Had to mix that in there somewhere, you know?
But let's climb the ladder to the top of the high dive and belly flop into Mario Sunshine and all of its vitamin D glory. Before Mario had to be perfect in every outing, before he was put in a box, he was able to get dirty, add mechanics to his jump, have a real story with voice acting. Super Mario Sunshine is the best game to play in the summer, hands down. And let's start her up and take it all in.
Oh yeah, this is what it's all about. The sun's out, the sky is bright, let's stay inside, crank up the AC, and play some Sunshine. Look, we're gonna go to the beach later, but let's collect a few shines first.
Also, we'll be playing the Super Mario 3D All-Stars version of the game for resolution purposes. It's fine. I'd probably rather be playing on the original GameCube, but I also want my footage to look good, so it is what it is. That being said, 3D All-Stars is one of the best collections Nintendo has ever put out, so a little shout out to Nintendo for making this great remaster collection. Like this whole channel isn't already a direct shout out to Nintendo, but it is what it is. Let's get our way through to Sunshine though. Wow. Let's just take this in for a second, can we? Just a beautiful title, the ocean, the gulls, the sound of the summer, man. Somewhere on a beach looking up at the sky, waves crashing in the distance. Just from the jump, you're already off to the feeling of summer.
A controller in your left hand, a Shirley Temple and a Sonic glass in the other, and the Super Mario Sunshine outfit on. I mean, this is it, right? Does it get better? I hope so!
So we jump in and already voice acting, welcome! Story, Shadow Mario, Toadsworth? New original characters, the semblance of a story, not just Peach being kidnapped. We're on vacation after the events of Mario 64. What? When has Mario ever had that much continuity? I'm pretty sure they're allergic to continuity. This was the last time, really, up until Odyssey, which kind of melds all of the Mario stories into one. We get one big finale that celebrates Mario's history in Odyssey, but still, it's not like there's a clear indicator that after Galaxy, Mario and friends jump into Odyssey. It's just another kidnapping. This is a real sequel. This is the last time story was used in a mainline Mario game. Think about it. All those new Super Mario Brothers, Mario Wonder, 3D Land World, it's just Bowser kidnapping Peach or someone who's Peach adjacent. There's zero effort ever put into a story, but here in Sunshine, it's summer, and Mario and Peach are on vacation because the last adventure was so taxing. That's great. I love that effort. We applaud effort in story. Seeing characters that are always on the brink of it go on vacation. What a great jumping point. It's like a wedding episode in a TV show.
What the hell is this? A wedding episode.
We land in Isle Delfino and we find this goopy soup and this jet water pack made by EGAD just lying around, ready for us to snag. The whole EGAD of it all, what a great nugget, a tasty nug, to give the fans who played Luigi's Mansion, the launch title for the GameCube, a way to connect both games. EGAD made FLUDD, so both of the 3D adventures in this GameCube era Mario games revolve around inventions by this weird little scientist man. EGAD being a huge player in the story without actually directly being in the story is just a cool touch, a way to connect more story elements from multiple Mario games, which, as I already stated, they just don't do that anymore. It's just refreshing to see here. The Mario team caring about story and trying to play around with the world building.
As I was replaying Sunshine for this video, my fiance goes, "Is that EGAD?" And just looking at the box where all the FLUDDs are in, and I was like, yeah, how do you know about EGAD? Because she's never played Luigi's Mansion. And she goes, duh, EGAD's Garage, Mario Party 6. One, that made me so proud. And two, that is world building showing itself in the GameCube era. I miss that dearly. It didn't happen in the Switch era for some reason, outside of like, I don't know, maybe New Donk City Par 3 course in that Mario Golf, but that's really it.
Just in the beginning, you're taking everything in. It just gets you jazzed up. Like, oh, what new exciting concept do we have here? We already have this Shadow Mario figure, and he has some sort of strange tool as well, on top of Mario's new fun water machine. And it's just so smart to make water the big innovation in this game, particularly because summer is just so water focused. As a kid in summer, you're always looking for a pool to jump in, a water gun to shoot, an ocean to spend your day around, and it's not like water jetpacks really existed back then or were a thing. It's just really genius to have this be the selection as Mario's new jumping helper. a thing that has always made Mario stand out from other games is his jumping ability, and to amplify that with water, I think is just so smart. And FLUDD, what a great companion. She's really the start of the companions in 3D Mario games. You have FLUDD, Luma, and then Cappy.
In my humble opinion, FLUDD is better than Cappy. FLUDD rules, and I wish we got a chance for Mario to use him in a game that isn't Smash in a bad down B move. FLUDD gives you the best possible jump advantage and helps you get rid of the constant gack that this game throws at you. It's funny how the discourse of FLUDD has changed throughout the years, because I remember people not being there for FLUDD in the beginning.
As a kid, so much of what I didn't like about this game stemmed from FLUDD. The overall negative impression from online circles I was in, you know, the classic forums, was that FLUDD was annoying and blatantly not needed, and we should have a sequel where it's just the levels without FLUDD. Those were the real 3D Mario platforming that we missed. We don't need a new innovation to strip us away from pure Mario jumping. And it's so funny because as I'm replaying this game, FLUDD literally saves the game from being a mess. Mario controls like a bouncy ball in most cases. Look at how he's just constantly moving here. It's like he's jiggling. FLUDD is the only thing that holds you back from rage quitting at every turn because you have some leeway with landing and timing your jumps more, and you can be in the air and time jumps more efficiently because you're hovering with the water. We'll get into the anti-FLUDD levels later, but holy hell, they start to feel evil after a while. And this is a good time as any to jump into the mechanics. Sunshine has a lot going on. It's very obviously the black sheep of Mario platformers, and like most black sheeps, it tries to stand out. Takes one to know one. And like I said, I applaud the big swings and risks this game takes. I will always be there for the big swings. And let me be clear, it's easy to sit here and say that after we now have Galaxy 1 and 2, and Odyssey, and 3D World, multiple other great 3D Mario games, when all we had was 64 and Sunshine, yeah, it's easy to see why everybody was so upset about what Sunshine was. It changed a lot, and change is scary to most people, particularly to people who base their entire personality around the fascination they had as a kid. Regardless of what people thought online of Sunshine and me agreeing with them so I could fit into online communities of people I never met, I still adored this game more than most. The only thing that I didn't like about it was too hard. There were too many levels that made me mad that I couldn't beat. Unlike Luigi's Mansion or Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, I was never able to beat Sunshine as a kid. I would always get tripped up at the mana level or one of the floodless levels and just pop in another game, but that didn't stop me and my cousins from trying. Something about one-player games where you're passing the controller between friends after someone dies. That was always one of my favorite ways to play video games. In my cousin's group, I am the youngest, so when I finally got my hands on the game, it would be a shock if I was the one who beat the level, you know? Before I was the ultimate game master that I am now, some great summer nights ended with me being the one who got the shine on our last life.
Was I getting shines in Pianta Village? No, that level is way too hard, but Bianca Hills? Now you're speaking my language.
There are 8 distinct levels in this game, which is 7 less than Mario 64. And sure, this has 9 shines per level as opposed to Mario 64's 7 stars per level. Plus Sunshine has the blue coins, which can be traded in for shines. But it is a distinct lack of level variety that 64 had more of, and that's an easy complaint right off the jump. But if you want to compare hub worlds, Delfino Plaza takes the place of Peach's Castle, and this place rocks, and it is far superior to Peach's Castle. I saw a video come up yesterday on my feed, best place in Sunshine to have a Corona. First, let me say I'd rather have a Pacifico, but anywhere in Delfino Plaza is perfect for sipping on some brews with the Piantas. This place is brimming with personality, side quests, and exploration galore. There would be times where I would just boot this up and just go from place to place exploring. And I would do this as a kid, yeah, but also in my current playthrough I was doing this. It's just pure whimsy and pure summer fun. Once you get situated, you find out Bianco Hills is the first level that we get to jump into. A really simple level just to get an understanding of your controls more. Similarly to Babam Battlefield, there is a nice hill to climb to the top of, which is, for a first level, always a smart move, because then the player can see where all of the secrets are hiding. Seeing Petey Piranha here as his first appearance is also really cool because he goes on to be a regular character in Mario spin-offs, something that just happened regularly in the GameCube era. I miss when 3D Mario games brought in a bunch of NPCs into the spin-offs. The Piantas and Nokis coming through in Mario Baseball and being present in Mario parties in the future. It's just a cute little calling card that was unfortunately skipped over with Odyssey. Except for Pauline. She kind of is Odyssey's one singular character that was able to stick around, which is funny because it's just canonically Mario's ex-girlfriend. And, you know, they seem cool now, but what does Peach have to say about this, you know? Back on Petey, his design really lends himself to be a boss in this particular game, being able to put water in his mouth, having him vomit the gunk that we see all over the game. It all works great for the first boss battle of the game. The second time you have to play Petey, oh man. Why is there a finite number of these little guys to shoot? That makes no sense. I can't even see him. He's flying around and I'm taking shots based on luck. This is the first time the game becomes increasingly stressful and annoying. It's a common theme that rises up, but this level is the one that makes you think, especially as a kid, why can't we just have this game? It is funny how similarly this looks to Galaxy at the end of the day. Kind of feels like they listen to us, except Galaxy is a lot more tightly controlled. But yeah, I mean, this looks like direct Galaxy inspiration in these levels. But these levels are what you think you want until they get insanely more difficult with our loose controls. It is funny how you have two levels in this first level where there is no FLUDD, almost taunting those fans who want just those levels in the game. Then there's Rico Harbor, which I think it's a bad rep, you know? I get that it's really difficult for a second level, but this is the level I spent most time in as a kid, so it kind of has that sweet spot in my old grinchy heart. It is a little crazy how hard it is to get to the upper level if you don't know what you're doing. And you get another boss, which I'm sure PETA just loves. It's the only time in a Mario game where I truly feel like I'm committing animal cruelty. But it also does make me want to have some calamari right now, so you be the judge. There are some Shadow Mario shines in each world, and this is the hardest one, and it's on the second level. He's on these very small pillars that are being held up, and you have to hit him with water, and anytime you touch him, you like fall and take a double bounce and usually fall off these pillars. This is why everybody says that this is too brutal for a second level. I mean, look how small the margins are for you to land on here. Look. It's not a perfect second level. It definitely amps the difficulty up super high from the first level, but you know, that's just Sunshine, baby. You know, it's hard from the jump, really. It does not pull punches. Everyone has these complaints about Rico Harbor, but here's the thing, Gelato Beach can be your second level if you just get all the stars in Bianco Hills right away. So to me, on this run through, this was my second level. And it is funny, I do think this works better. It's a pure beach aesthetic that shines as a whole, are a little easier, and it fits the theming better than the harbor. It's like, finally, a beach level. This does have a couple infamous shines, but overall, this is one of the higher quality levels in my opinion. Even the watermelon shine, I don't know, something about this impossible task, completing it makes it feel like you've earned a badge in the Sunshine ethos. There are a couple ethos earning shines in this game, and this is the first one. The ones that are just unrealistically hard, and it's like, why are you even asking me to do this? But you do it, and then once you complete it, you're like, yeah, I did that. Then the fourth level, Peanut Park, a level based around an amusement park. I'd argue this is the best level in the game. Aesthetically, it is so smart to have this level in your Mario Summer game. Then you have the boss battle on the roller coaster. You get a really interesting story note halfway through your adventure with Bowser Jr. This level delivers on all accounts. They knew that a boardwalk level just needed to be a high contender. On the story front, I never liked how Peach didn't tell Bowser Jr. right here and there that she wasn't his mother. If you were like me, you were on Newgrounds a lot as a kid and other adjacent sites, and all the jokes that were made around the Mario franchise was that Peach and Bowser were like a couple. behind Mario's back. And even as a kid, I knew that that was low-hanging fruit and the laziest joke that you can make. And I just didn't like her not denying it here. It gave all those people fuel, like, look, she could have been with Bowser and they had a kid together. I'll admit, in my older age, it reads more like Peach is piecing together that Bowser told this kid that Peach is his mom, and she doesn't want to hurt him, which is sweet. I just shipped Mario and Peach as a kid and wanted them to be canonically a true couple, and they just never really confirmed that. Like, you know, I had the most vanilla ships ever. Peach and Mario, Sonic and AB, Luigi and Daisy, whatever was the most obvious relationship available. That's what I wanted to see. Back on Peanut Park, though, so much occurs here. You unlock Yoshi, which allows you to get the final star in Rico Harbor, another ethos-earning shine. Sorry, I called it a star earlier. I feel like I'm going to make that mistake a couple more times. Sidebar. This shine, the one in Rico Harbor, the Yoshi one, I had an inkling to make this video, the one you're watching right now. I wanted to make this heading into summer, a Sunshine video about how it fits into the time of this year perfectly. And I was like, let me play a random shine. How about we do the last one on the second level? So it's hard, but it's not too hard, you know? And I rage quit. Yep, I rage quit like 3 times. This shine brings Rico Harbor down so far on the list. I can't emphasize enough how this one shine almost made me completely abandon the whole notion of making a Sunshine video. But I did it anyway because I'm a persistent bastard. And yeah, F this star. I hate that shine. So again, circling back on Peanut Park, I'm glad that you ride the roller coaster twice because it's super fun for a boss battle, and then it gets really hard for this rail shooter. And never rage-quittingly hard, but just having to learn where everything is, like where the balloons are if you just shoot, it just takes time. Plus, you have another hard no FLUDD level here with the Yoshi carousel, which is like a fun puzzle that you don't have to look anything up, but like you figure out on your own. And you realize like, wow, I'm like more than halfway through this game and I'm killing this. We're doing it, you know, bring on the hard stuff. And then you're like, why did I say that? Peanut Park is masterful, mwah, best level in the game, and then Serena Beach. This is the guidebook level. You know what I'm talking about? Those levels where you pretty much have to look up how to find the shines because you're not going to be able to solve the puzzle on your own. Yeah, welcome to Serena Beach. Also, welcome to the level that stopped me from going forward on my original GameCube save file. Yep, I was never able to get the first shine here, the Manta Storm, which obviously is an ethos-earning shine, but it's just so funny because now I'm doing it now, and I did it in my first try.
I had a friend that would challenge everyone growing up. He would be like, oh, so you're the big Mario expert, huh? Well, then beat this level. And it was the Manta level, and because naturally all of us were stuck here, I wonder if that is a thing that most kids were stuck at that particular level. And that was the only time I was able to actually do it, when the bully had my back against the wall. And it felt amazing, like controller mic drop type moment. But damn, I do wish that was on my own save file.
After the Manta Shine, you're now in this haunted hotel, and it's fine. It kind of slows the pace of the whole game when you have a level that is this difficult in finding out what exactly you even have to do. It's smart to make it a hotel. You know, it fits the summer vacation vibe. You know, you're staying in a hotel in summer, and it's a haunted hotel like The Shining. Yeah, sure, it all works. But this level I usually dread when contemplating a Sunshine run. I'm like, oh, now I have to look everything up in Serena Beach again. And it's around this time you also get the FLUDD unlockables, the upgrades to FLUDD, which is such a cool concept that FLUDD has other nozzles that we can use, but for my money, they come into effect way too late in the game. I get so used to the standard hover that usually I need it more than the other two. I never seek them out. It's cool to have ones that make you run on water and move faster, and a rocket one that seems really helpful, but truly you can get most places with just the regular FLUDD and a well-timed jump, and it just feels unnecessary. It's a great concept, but it'd be nice if I could just switch between all 3 at will. You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to lose the other ones? I just wish it was more of a rotating through situation as opposed to a Kong barrel situation. You know what I'm talking about. You also fight King Boo, which is odd to see him here after Luigi's Mansion looking so different. But hey, he's at a casino and he's probably on vacation, so maybe he's just feeling a little woozy from all those pina coladas. Then you move on to Nuki Bay, the water level, and this is as good of time as any to talk about how bad the swimming in Sunshine is, which makes absolutely zero sense. Like, it was fine in Mario 64. You know, it was slow, but it made sense. Here, they know it's bad because they give you different swimming mechanics when you go deeper in the water. There still is a lot of platforming in this level, but there are a couple deep diving expeditions that Mario takes to clean the eel's teeth and the 8 red coins, and it works fine when you use FLUDD on the bigger expeditions. But overall, you get a really calm presence in this level that kind of makes you feel really good inside. You're by the bay, you're uncovering ancient relics to open new doors. Overall, it's a nice experience, especially for this light of a level. But when you get into that floodless level in Nuki Bay, good luck. You must have your platforming skills on check because this is where the inevitable rage quitting happens. Look at this. After I did all of that, I make it to the top of the final challenge and I fall off. This is when you realize that anyone that asks for a Sunshine sequel without FLUDD is an idiot because FLUDD is the only thing that's keeping this game together. And all of a sudden we're at the last level in the game. We have Pianta Village, which has real nice Hawaii vibes. And I'm sure, you know, all of Delfino Plaza has Hawaii vibes, but Pianta Village specifically, it's a little like touristy town with a mayor that is trying to keep it all together. It is shockingly forgettable as a final level, but it does offer significant challenge throughout and puzzles that have you thinking how to solve them as opposed to, all right, let me just look this up right away. It kind of ends the game on a dud note, though, in terms of placement. Like, personally, I think the Bay would have been a much more fitting ending level. Pianta Village, though, overall, it's okay. It's just, when you have Nuki Bay being this, like, relic of an ancient time level right before it, it's just like, why didn't they just switch these two? And then you're at Corona Mountain, where we have Hot Tub Bowser, which honestly wasn't too far off from my dad's idea of Bowser finding a parking spot.
It's funny how things from childhood stick with you. Whenever I go to the beach and I'm looking for a parking spot, that made-up video game that my dad came up with of Bowser in an undersized car looking for a parking spot always sticks out to me.
In my personal opinion, this is when you really miss the levels that you play in Mario 64, when you had to play a level before you even fought Bowser. I mean, there is one here, but it's really quick, and it has a horrible gimmicky boat part that just takes so much patience to get right, and it isn't hard because once you die, it's not like the boat is after a really difficult part of the level. It's really like the only difficult part of the whole level, so it's just simple jumps, really. So it's just more tedious than annoying, which I guess sure is a win, that it's tedious and not annoying, but you just walk away from this really missing the levels leading up to the Bowser fights in Mario 64. And then you cut to a cute scene of Bowser having his idea of a family vacation moment with Peach and Junior in the hot tub, and we get fully voice-acted Bowser.
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
Which is something that is very strange, but also kind of cool. I guess it's cooler in retrospect than it was in the moment. Like I said earlier, getting applauded for the big swings, even if it does make Bowser just sound like a normal guy. I mean, that's a huge jump from his unique dinosaur sounds he made in Mario 64 and all the spin-off games. I mean, he becomes like 70% less dinosaur here, which is certainly a choice. It's way less intimidating, but that's not what they're going for here. I mean, he's a dad now, so he's got to loosen up a bit. And he's in a hot tub. Like, clearly they're not trying to make him this, like, evil warlord. And the battle itself is really simple, but it's also really fun. I just wish there was more of it. It's insanely memorable to have the boss battle be Bowser Hot Tub that you destroy to ruin his family vacation. But some people would want there to be more of it. And some people want to say this is actually a bad ending, but come on. The whole game, the whole premise is Mario's summer vacation. We don't want Bowser's lava castle here. That would just ruin our vibe. Just give us more of what we got. The actual fight itself is just over before we can really take it in. It's just one phase for your final Bowser fight. In the whole game, like, you sure you don't want Junior to have a little final fight after we knock out the hot tub? No? Okay, sure. I guess in their defense, you are fighting Junior sporadically throughout the game, but you do feel like Junior kind of is a bigger part of all of this, and after the hot tub fight, there should be a pure Bowser Jr. fight versus Mario here. But we don't get that. It just ends right after you destroy the hot tub in a kind of easy way, but it just feels like a phase 1 of a boss fight, you know? Like, give us the next phase. Give us multiple phases here. This is the final battle in your 3D Mario game for the GameCube. Like, step it up a little bit, you know? And then we all fall to the ground. We lose FLUDD for a second, but she gets fixed. And we have a nice little montage of all the places Mario and Peach get to enjoy now that the town is fixed and Peach is saved. And it's really cute. Plus, we get another cute moment with Bowser Jr. and his dad saying he knows Peach isn't his mom, but who is? You know? Like, I feel like if the GameCube in general was more popular and they ever gave us a Sunshine sequel, that is where they would have to go, right? That's what you're setting up. Give us Bowser Jr.'s mom. Like, who could she have been? How do Koopas reproduce? Did this kid just come from the stork? Which I guess makes sense, because that's canonically what happened with Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. It's Mario. You know, it's better for us not to poke holes in the story. I just wish we knew more about Junior's life, you know? It is cool that we kind of touch on it a little bit in Bowser's Fury and how he asked Mario for help because he trusts Mario. But it is what it is. It's Mario. Continuity is very lacking. And then after you beat Bowser in Sunshine, you get to have this baller shirt like the one I'm wearing in this video. How about that? What a great post-game reward. Honestly, this is easily the swaggiest Mario has ever looked.
This isn't the swaggiest I looked. I know it's pretty swaggy, but check out my Conga Sans video to see my max swag level reached.
And that was Sunshine. It's wonky, its controls can be evil at times, and it feels a little small when it's all said and done. But to me, nothing beats booting this puppy up in the summer and enjoying it for more reasons than just the standard controls and tasks, and existing in Delfino Plaza in the summer. You know, when you get older, summer loses a lot of its luster. You still have to go to work, you spend a lot of time in hot locations, and your bank account is drained from the excessive energy you're using powering your AC unit. But that all seems to disappear when you play Mario Sunshine. There are certain games that just exist better during this time of year, and nothing tops playing Mario Sunshine down the shore with your cousins. We would get a shore house for the entire month of August, 4 families under one roof, enjoying our final summer month together. And nothing beats the idea of starting Sunshine at the start of that month and hoping to beat Bowser by the end. It is one of the all-time favorite memories I have, and I'm very thankful that the developers of Nintendo decided to take my dad's suggestion and make a Mario game based around the summer season.
Sure, being an adult in the summer can have its perks, like being able to eat ice cream whenever you want, or going to play Sunshine whenever you want, or go to the beach whenever you want. Actually, you know what? It's a great day outside. Let's hit the beach. Yeah, like right now. My brother would always get mad because he's a big sports guy, and I was the bigger video game guy. And me and my oldest cousin would take too long playing Sunshine or DK64 at times. So for you, Dean, let's actually head to the beach and play some wiffle ball. It's a great day. Enough indoor activities.
Hey, if we leave now, I bet we can get all the stars in Peter Park. Yeah? Yeah. Beach is overrated anyway. Let's go.